Imagine standing at a crossroads where one path leads to lifelong financial uncertainty and the other leads to a future where money no longer dictates what you can or cannot do. A future where your choices aren't controlled by fear, stress, or guesswork, but by clarity, intention, and simple systems that work quietly in the background while you live your life. Tony Robbins believes that financial freedom isn't reserved for the wealthy or the lucky. It's a learnable game, and once you understand the rules, you can begin winning consistently. In Money, Master the Game, he takes you behind the curtain of the financial world and hands you the exact tools used by the most successful investors alive. Today, we'll walk through the first 4 sections of the book, building a foundation of mindset, strategy, and structure that can transform your financial life from the inside out. Section 1. Welcome to the jungle. The journey begins with this first step. Chapter. It's your money. It's your life. Take control. The book opens by confronting a simple truth. Most people never take deliberate control of their financial lives. They work for money, but rarely make money work for them. Tony describes how many individuals live in quiet frustration, wanting stability and freedom, but feeling intimidated by financial jargon, overwhelmed by conflicting advice, or afraid of making mistakes. The first real breakthrough is acknowledging that no one will ever care about your money as much as you do. Here, Robbins reframes money not as a source of stress, but as a tool for security, choice, dignity, and opportunity. He emphasizes that you don't need to be born wealthy, brilliant, or mathematically gifted to build a strong financial future. What you need is a decision, the decision to take control. Once that decision is made, everything else becomes possible. He urges you to begin with one powerful action, deciding that a percentage of everything you earn will go toward your future. Not when I start earning more, not when things settle down, but now. Automation becomes the secret weapon. When saving and investing are automated, discipline stops relying on willpower and starts relying on systems. Those systems, once set up, begin to grow your financial foundation silently month after month. Chapter. The 7 Simple Steps to Financial Freedom. Tony outlines the architecture of the journey ahead. 7 steps that guide you from uncertainty to clarity, from confusion to strategy, from hope to measurable action. While the details come later, the intention of this chapter is to show that financial freedom is not a vague dream. It is a roadmap, a process that anyone can follow. The steps begin with taking control, learning how the financial world really works, breaking free of myths that drain your wealth, calculating what your dream life truly costs, building an investment plan with the right balance of growth and safety, learning from the world's best investors, and finally, living with purpose and generosity. These steps are not abstract ideas. They're practical checkpoints designed to be followed sequentially. Chapter. Tap the power. Make the most important financial decision of your life. In this chapter, Robbins explores the astonishing force of compounding, the quiet engine behind all great fortunes. He demonstrates that wealth rarely appears through sudden windfalls. It is nearly always the result of consistent, incremental growth over long periods of time. A small, automated contribution can grow to unimaginable levels if given enough years to accumulate. He highlights that the earlier you begin, the stronger compounding becomes. But even if you're starting late, the key is consistency. Tony shows how simple, rule-based behaviors protect you from emotional mistakes and help your investments work without daily monitoring. Whether you're earning a little or a lot, compounding favors those who start and persist. Chapter. Money Mastery. It's time to break through. This chapter focuses on dismantling the psychological walls that prevent people from taking financial control. Robbins encourages readers to examine the stories they've been telling themselves about money. Stories inherited from family, shaped by culture, or built from past failures. He insists that financial freedom begins with changing these internal narratives. If you believe money is scarce, difficult, or corrupting, you'll sabotage yourself unconsciously. If you see money as empowerment and responsibility, you'll approach it with confidence. Section 1 ends with the idea that mindset is the soil from which all financial strategies grow. Without mental alignment, Even perfect strategies will be poorly executed. With the right mindset, progress becomes natural. Section 2. Become the insider. Know the rules before you get in the game. Chapter: Shattering the 9 Financial Myths. Robbins begins by lifting the curtain on the financial industry, an industry filled with marketing illusions that often mislead everyday investors. He explains that the world of finance has built-in incentives that don't always align with your success. Many products, advertisements, and promises are designed to sound appealing while quietly draining your long-term returns. The 9 myths serve as a wake-up call. They expose why so many investors underperform, lose money unnecessarily, or place blind trust in advisors who may not have their best interests at heart. By breaking these illusions, Robbins equips you with the skepticism and clarity needed to navigate the investment landscape. Myth: will beat the market. Tony reveals that most actively managed funds fail to outperform simple market indexes over long periods. Even when a fund outperforms for a short time, it rarely does so consistently. The data shows that managers struggle to outguess the market, and fees only make the challenge harder. Myth: our fees are small. Fees appear small on paper, but are massive over time. A difference of even 1% can erase hundreds of thousands of dollars from your lifetime returns because negative compounding works just as powerfully as positive compounding. Myth: what you see is what you get. Many advertised returns hide costs, taxes, or selective data. The fine print often changes the entire story. Robbins urges readers to learn the difference between gross returns and what you actually keep. Myth: your broker is always helping you. The distinction between brokers and fiduciaries becomes essential. Brokers may sell products that benefit their employer. Fiduciaries are legally obligated to put your interests first. Understanding this difference protects you from conflicts of interest. Myth: your retirement is safe in a 401k. 401k. S are useful, but only as safe as the fees, investment choices, and structure behind them. Many plans are filled with hidden costs or poorly diversified options. Myth: target date funds are always safe. Convenient, but not always optimal. Their internal allocations may not match your risk tolerance, and their fees may be higher than they appear. Myth: all annuities are bad. Robbins clarifies that some annuities are indeed overpriced or restrictive, but others, particularly certain income annuities, can create guaranteed streams of retirement income. The message is not to reject them blindly, but to understand them fully. Myth: big risks equal big rewards. The ultra-wealthy don't gamble. They look for asymmetric opportunities, small risks with large potential gains. The average investor, however, often believes the opposite. Myth: we lie to ourselves about money. This final myth exposes our emotional biases. Overconfidence, panic selling, chasing trends. These behaviors quietly destroy returns. Becoming aware of them is the first step toward mastering them. Section 3. What's the price of your dreams? Make the game winnable. Chapter: What's the price of your dreams? This section shifts from myths to clarity. Robbins asks a critical question. What does your ideal life actually cost? Most people never quantify this, so they wander financially without direction. Tony guides you to break your dreams into concrete numbers, monthly living costs, long-term goals, and a financial freedom target that would allow you to live without relying on a paycheck. He emphasizes that the number is often smaller than people imagine. When you translate a dream lifestyle into annual expenses and investment needs, the path becomes clearer and less overwhelming. Chapter: What's your plan? Once the price of your dreams is identified, the next step is engineering a plan to reach it. This plan includes saving strategies, timelines, the percentage of income allocated toward investments, and the eventual structure of your portfolio. Robbins shows that a plan based on automated contributions and realistic expectations is far more powerful than sporadic effort or emotional decision-making. Chapters: Speeding it up, the 5 accelerants. Tony introduces 5 accelerators that can dramatically shorten your journey. Increase the percentage you save. Even small increases have huge long-term effects. Increase your income through new skills, negotiating, or entrepreneurship. Reduce unnecessary fees and taxes, because what you keep matters more than what you earn. Improve your returns by removing emotional decision-making. Align your spending with your values so less money is wasted on low-joy habits. These accelerants turn a slow path into a fast, measurable progression toward financial freedom. Section 4. Make the most important investment decision of your life. Chapter: The Ultimate Bucket List, Asset Allocation. Robbins now introduces the concept of asset allocation, the distribution of your investments across different types of assets. He explains that asset allocation is responsible for the majority of long-term returns, far more than stock picking or market timing. Proper allocation balances your need for growth with your need for stability. He presents the idea of dividing your money into separate buckets, each serving a distinct purpose. This structure ensures that no single market event can derail your entire financial life. It also protects emotional stability, because each bucket has a defined role and timeline. Chapter: Playing to Win, the Risk/Growth Bucket. This bucket houses your long-term growth assets, stocks, equity funds, and other investments with higher volatility but higher potential returns. Robbins explains that this bucket fuels your financial engine. It grows your wealth over time. He also stresses that your age, financial goals, and emotional tolerance determine how large this bucket should be. Chapter: The Dream Bucket. This bucket is designed to protect your lifestyle and provide steady income. It includes safer investments, bonds, income-producing assets, and instruments meant to preserve capital. While it may not grow as quickly as the risk bucket, it provides the psychological stability and financial reliability needed for long-term security. Chapter: Timing is Everything. Robbins warns strongly against attempting to time the market. The greatest investors don't rely on guessing. They rely on diversification, rules, and discipline. Instead of predicting when a market will rise or fall, Robbins suggests systematic rebalancing, maintaining your asset ratios, and trusting long-term trends. Market timing is unpredictable, but strategy is dependable. Section 5. Upside without the downside. Create a lifetime income plan. Chapter: Invincible, Unsinkable, Unconquerable, the All-Season Strategy. In this section, Robbins takes the lesson of asset allocation even deeper by introducing a philosophy used by some of the most successful investors in the world: the pursuit of steady, reliable returns without exposing yourself to devastating losses. He explains that the true enemy of wealth is not market volatility, but massive drawdowns. Those moments when a portfolio crashes so severely that it takes years, even decades, to recover. To address this, Robbins introduces a framework inspired by Ray Dalio's all-season strategy. The idea is simple but profound. Since no one can predict the future, build a portfolio that can survive and perform in every economic environment. Whether inflation is rising, falling, growth is booming, or recessions are tightening their grip. Each asset in this strategy plays a specific role, protecting the portfolio against a different climate. Robbins emphasizes that the brilliance of this approach is not in maximizing returns during the best years, but in minimizing damage during the worst years. When you avoid catastrophic losses, your long-term compounding remains intact, and your financial progress becomes smoother and more consistent. Chapter: It's Time to Thrive, Storm-Proof Returns, and Unrivaled Results. Here Robbins widens the lens and examines portfolios that endured major financial crises, from recessions to market crashes, and shows how well-diversified strategies consistently outperformed emotional, short-term decision-making. He describes how investors who chased trends often suffered heavy losses, while those who relied on systematic, diversified approaches managed not only to preserve wealth, but often to grow it. He also explores specialized financial instruments designed to cap downside risk or provide buffers against volatility. While some of these tools are more complex, Robbins distills the logic behind them. Always seek structures that protect your principal while still allowing reasonable participation in market growth. By prioritizing downside protection first, you create a safety net that lets you move forward with confidence. This chapter reinforces a fundamental truth that thriving financially is not about predicting what will happen next, but preparing intelligently for anything that could happen. Chapter Freedom, Creating Your Lifetime Income Plan. Robbins now turns to what he considers the heart of financial freedom: building a source of income that cannot be outlived, a financial foundation that supports you for the rest of your life regardless of market fluctuations. He argues that wealth is not measured by net worth, but by the reliability and sufficiency of your income streams. He explains how different tools, such as income annuities, bond ladders, dividends, and systematic withdrawal strategies, can be combined to create a predictable flow of cash. The goal is simple: engineer a financial system that covers your living expenses without requiring you to work or draw down your savings at a dangerous rate. Robbins stresses that longevity risk, the risk of outliving your money, is one of the greatest threats to retirees. A lifetime income plan neutralizes this risk. It gives you peace of mind, allowing you to focus on living rather than worrying. This chapter is a turning point, shifting the focus from accumulation to security. Chapter Time to Win. Your income is the outcome. In this segment, Robbins reframes the entire purpose of investing. It is not to chase the highest returns or accumulate the biggest number on a statement. The real goal is sustainable, dependable income. He describes how many people obsess over their portfolio balances, yet those numbers are meaningless if they do not translate into usable, ongoing cash flow. He encourages readers to think like pension managers or endowment stewards, individuals who measure success by the strength and longevity of income streams rather than the speculative highs of market cycles. When you shift your focus to income, your decisions become clearer, less emotional, and more aligned with long-term well-being. Chapter Secrets of the Ultra-Wealthy that you can use too. Robbins closes this section by revealing the strategies used by the ultra-wealthy, not to flaunt their sophistication, but to show that the principles behind their methods can be adapted by ordinary investors. He describes how the wealthy prioritize tax efficiency, structure their assets to reduce volatility, and use simple behavioral rules to outperform the majority of the market. He reveals that many of their strongest advantages come not from exclusive opportunities, but from discipline, long-term planning, and deeper understanding of risk. By adopting the mindset of the ultra-wealthy, everyday investors can elevate their decisions and dramatically improve their outcomes. Section 6. Invest like the 0.001%. The Billionaire's Playbook. Chapter Meet the Masters. In this section, Robbins brings forward lessons from his interviews with some of the most legendary investors on the planet. Each of these individuals, from Warren Buffett to Ray Dalio to Paul Tudor Jones, has a unique investment philosophy, yet Robbins highlights the common principles that unite them. He reveals that none of these masters rely on guesswork or instinct. Instead, they rely on systems, rules, and well-defined strategies. Buffett focuses on buying wonderful businesses at fair prices and holding them for decades. Dalio emphasizes the power of diversification across uncorrelated assets, building portfolios that remain balanced in every type of economic environment. Paul Tudor Jones prioritizes risk management above all else, believing that protecting capital is the foundation of long-term success. Robbins distills these insights into actionable principles that any individual investor can adopt. The message becomes clear: extraordinary investing success is not about predicting the future. It is about structuring your decisions so that you can thrive regardless of what the future brings. He also highlights how these investors maintain emotional discipline. They do not panic during downturns, nor do they become euphoric during booms. Their calm, consistent approach offers a powerful model for anyone seeking stability and growth. Section 7. Just do it, enjoy it, and share it. Chapter The Future is Brighter Than You Think. Here Robbins turns from strategy to optimism. He argues that despite economic anxieties, global progress and innovation continue to create opportunity. He emphasizes that long-term investing is fueled not by pessimism, but by confidence in human creativity and advancement. He describes how markets have weathered wars, recessions, political turmoil, and countless crises. Yet they have consistently grown over time. When you zoom out far enough, you see a story not of chaos but of resilience. Robbins encourages readers to trust in this long-term trajectory, grounding their financial plans in faith rather than fear. Chapter: The Wealth of Passion. This chapter shifts the spotlight to purpose. Robbins insists that financial freedom is not just about accumulating wealth or creating security. It is about crafting a life that is joyful, meaningful, and aligned with your passions. He encourages readers to identify what truly energizes them, what activities bring them fulfillment, and how they can design a life that reflects those values. Money becomes the fuel that supports purpose, not the purpose itself. Without passion, even great financial success can feel empty. With passion, even moderate financial gains can create a deeply satisfying life. Chapter: The Final Secret. The final chapter reveals what Robbins considers the ultimate fulfillment of financial freedom: giving. He argues that contribution, whether through time, resources, mentorship, or generosity, is the highest expression of wealth. When you have built enough stability to lift others, you experience a level of joy and meaning that financial success alone cannot match. Robbins describes how giving transforms not only communities but also the giver. Contribution reinforces abundance, strengthens gratitude, and deepens fulfillment. It completes the journey from fear and scarcity to empowerment and generosity. The journey through money. Master the Game ultimately leads to a simple truth. Financial freedom is not an illusion reserved for the elite. It is a matter of knowledge, structure, discipline, and mindset. By understanding the rules of the financial world, protecting yourself from unnecessary risks, building diversified strategies, and creating reliable income streams, you lay a foundation that can support you for the rest of your life.